lobby in the zone. Gazing at the walls, depressed, digging the bone. They take it personal, but only your mind if you could understand what a nigga feeling. 41st till I die, motherfuckers. I'm still breathing you for mud, so we full bread. You ain't my dog trying to infiltrate the clique issue. I get with
Hello,
you,
testing.
We overdose every day to death, we so close. I'm trying to tell these cats, but I let them do their thing.
Testing.
Ready for the bad news till the phone ring. Son is dead now, anyway. Over my head, seeking revenge, son. Been son, on your behalf, trying to laugh out the drill gun. Conceal guns, play the hum. Real sons for you motherfucking hoes.
Hello everyone. Give me just a few seconds to set everything up. So we should be live. Let me see if the screen is okay. Okay. So we should be live. Let me see. So let me bring up everything. Yeah, now we're doing good. The comments. Let me bring up the comments as well. So I just did a stream on Trader Nick. And now it's time for my personal stream. So I think I haven't seen you guys on my channel for 2 weeks now. I've had quite a couple of trades, if I'm being honest. So let me update you on the trade situation. So let me see. EuroCAD, I'm still in. It's running, not a lot, but it is running in profit. USDCAD, I did have a position here, which I closed for a win. So that was nice. That was a nice position. And now I have a buy limit set. Okay, now I have a buy limit set. I want to get in again. I would personally say the USDCAD is one of the best currencies to buy right now. Okay, so definitely the best. If you're looking at fundamentals, USD is very strong. I'm expecting it to be even stronger. So the methodology is that. Hey Sluggy FX, what's up? Whoop. Oh no, I messed something up. Okay, we're back. So the methodology is, or the thinking is, if you look at the seasonality, usually in November and in December, people tend to buy a lot of US stocks. So people tend to just flock massively into the US stock market. What do you need to buy US stocks? You need the US dollar, right? So with the buying of US stocks, people also buy the US dollar, especially investors outside of the United States. So that's the first reason, or one of the reasons why I'm bullish on the US dollar. Another reason is you already have 2 rate cuts priced in from the Fed. So if you go to the Fed Watch tool, this is a very powerful tool right here, and it's absolutely free. If you go to the Fed Watch tool, we have a rate cut priced in for October and for December as well. So pretty much 25 basis points in October, 25 basis points in December. We don't have any current news. Okay, so currently the US government is shut down, so we don't have any news on that front, but rate cuts are already priced in. I think the only thing that can actually happen is we can get good economic data from the United States, and which could mean less rate cuts, okay? Less rate cuts is hawkish, and that is bullish for the currency. So whichever way we go, I think the USD is actually pretty bullish. All of the confluences are telling me this. The CAD is really bearish, so the CAD is doing really badly. We can look at the Canada. So right here, this is the short-term data, and only 37.5% of the data is coming out better than expected. So short-term data is pretty bad. The last thing that was released for Canada was the unemployment rate and the employment change, which turned out bullish for the currency, but the rest of the stuff is pretty bad. Now that's for the short term. But then long term, if you look at the GDP for the CAD, it's kind of all over the place. It's pretty bad. If you look at the unemployment, it is rising 7.1%. That's really high. And it's all about relative numbers. So how is Canada doing relative to other economies? It's pretty bad. And you have inflation, which is around 2%. So there's not a lot of room to cut interest rates because you're gonna have inflation spiking up. That's kind of called the stagflation scenario. So if I had to pick the best currency pair to buy in 2025, and that's the name of this live stream as well, it would be USDCAD. So as I mentioned, already took a buy position. That was a nice winner. Now I'm looking to get in again. One thing though, I'm looking for a pullback. But what I'm actually considering is maybe getting in with a market order right here at this price. So just an small initial position to get me in, to get things rolling, to get things started. And then I can get into another position a bit lower down. So I don't want to miss the train. So I don't want to see this happen. I don't want to see this happen, and this happen. Where I have pretty much missed the boat, missed the train. That is in my head. That is what I'm considering. Other than USD CAD, I took a GBP USD short, which ended up being a loss. Okay, so took a loss yesterday. It was a pretty good short in my opinion because the pound is very weak. Currently, the two biggest fiscal sinners are the UK and Canada, while the dollar, in my opinion, is pretty strong. So I was looking at this range for quite a long time, and we finally got a breakout. We finally got price breaking below that. So I decided to take a stab, to take a sell position. Unfortunately, it did not work out. So this ended up being a loss. EuroCAD, I mentioned I'm still in. Let me refresh my memory. What was another trade that I took? I have my trade journal, so give me just 1 second. So let's see. AussieCAD, UJ, EuroCAD. EuroCAD I'm in. Yeah, pretty much I had a trade on UJ, which was a winner. So I'm gonna show you that one. UJ. Let's go, USDJPY. Just a short-term trade. Did I remove it? No. Did I delete the trade? No. Oh. Okay, so I looked like I deleted it, but basically it was somewhere in here. It was an okay winner, like 1%, 1.5%. Just a new strategy that I'm testing out. Very much connected to Brent Donnelly signals. So not sure if you follow Brent Donnelly. He wrote the book The Alpha Trader, one of the best trading books that I have read. And he has a newsletter which I'm signed up for, and he does trade analysis, trade ideas, trade signals. So that's one of my strategies, just following whatever he does. And it's working well so far. I mean, he has 20-30 years of experience and he's offering his insights. Of course they're gonna be good. I had a buy limit on UJ. So the book is The Alpha Trader. Let me check the comments as well. Brent Donnelly. Okay, that's the author. Hey, SJGF. Hello, Marco. Just want to thank you for insights every day coming from Nick's channel. Well, thank you for joining and thank you for the feedback. So hope you enjoy. If you have any questions or anything you want me to analyze, put it in the comments. Sluggy says, I took a 0.5% risk on GBP Swiss as a hedge against my GBP USD short and SL on weekly. Let's see. Let's see the GBP CHF. Oanda data. Okay, so you took a a long here, if I'm not mistaken, because it's a hedge. So that's an okay position as a hedge. Of course, I don't have a lot of research from the Swiss. Hey, BHESHU, hello, welcome to my channel. If you have any questions, let me know. So for the Swiss, I don't have a huge opinion on. I'm not sure if it's bullish or bearish. I haven't been bothered to do a lot of research on it. GBP, I know that I really don't like, so I want to sell the pound. If it's a hedge for you, then that is a completely different thing. Then you're not relying on the fundamental analysis. You're just relying on a hedge on your GBP/USD short. So I didn't know you were in a GBP/USD short. I thought you were out of that one. Or maybe that was someone else. There's quite a lot of people in the A1 trading Discord. Because I do know some people in the A1 Discord were scalping the pound right before the news. So this week we had the unemployment rate come out, which was very bad for the UK. And I know some people positioned themselves short, like in this area. Okay. Okay, so you got your stop loss hit on GU. Okay, yeah. So this is a trade I know a lot of people took, and it played out in the beginning, and then unfortunately, if you did not take profits, it would have unfortunately reversed all the way back up and took you out of the position. So it was a good trade. If you were in this, if you were scalping the unemployment rate numbers, great trade idea. This time, maybe it worked for you if you took profits, but most likely it did not. I kind of went along with that. So I got in a bit later, but I still had the idea that the pound is pretty weak, that the UK is doing pretty badly, and that basically, yeah, unfortunately got taken out as well. So since you think ICT is a scam, in your opinion, when it comes to long-term and technical analysis is not enough, how do you trade and how would you recommend people to trade? So, best way to do it, I have a video on the topic, and also Trader Nick has a video on the topic. So search up Trader Nick, my trading strategy. In that video, that's a video on his YouTube channel. In that video, it's a 40-minute long video. He explains everything you need to know on how to structure a trade idea using technical analysis, fundamental analysis, sentiment analysis, and seasonality. Okay, that's your starting point. That should explain all of the different confluences of building a trading edge. Okay. So my best recommendation is to incorporate many different types of analysis, not just technical analysis, but for example, for the USDCAD trade that I had, was it this one? Yeah. So for this one, I looked at technical analysis, fundamental analysis, seasonality. I think the seasonality was good. And I looked at housing prices in Canada, which is something that not a lot of people look at. But if you look at the housing market in Canada, last 4 to 5 years, it has been on a downward trend. That means less demand for housing, less demand for the CAD as a currency, price goes down. So you can combine all sorts of things. The more confluences you can stack on top of each other, the better your trading edge is. It was a solid trade. GU didn't work out part of the game. Yeah, part of the game, part of the probabilities. Yusuf, hey, what's up? I'm doing great. Hope you're doing well as well. And if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. So for UJ, I had if we just go back to USDJPY, I had a pending order set here yesterday. I didn't get tagged in. I ended up removing the order. The reason was that my stance on the yen was not clear enough. So essentially, I don't have a clear stance. Is the yen neutral or is it actually bearish? Because right now, the Bank of Japan is clashing with the new prime minister. The new prime minister is dovish, so lower interest rates, while Bank of Japan is hawkish, meaning higher interest rates. So there's a clash. Okay, there's a clash between them. And that is basically bad because I don't have a clear picture. So I'm gonna wait it out a bit. I'm gonna see what will happen in the future, how they will solve their differences, and then I'm gonna make a decision. Maybe buying UJ a bit later would be good. So I'll think about it. So yeah, I removed this buy limit. I'm not in UJ. The last trade I took was somewhere here. Unfortunately, I didn't save it. I'm not sure why I didn't save it. What's your bias on DXY based on fundamentals? So DXY I'm bullish on. And I'm expressing that trade idea through buying USDCAD, buying EuroCAD, and possibly maybe some other USD long ideas, selling GBPUSD. That was a USD long idea. So fundamentally, there's a lot of things that are telling me dollar will go up. We can take a look at some short-term data. Okay. US. It's okay relative to other economies in the world. It's doing okay. We can take a look at seasonality. Okay. Monthly seasonality. You can take a look at, let's say, USD JPY. Usually bullish end of the year. See, bullish end of the year. We can take a look at USD CAD. Very bullish into the end of the year. So pretty nice, pretty good. So yeah, looks nice for the seasonality. DXY, again, another reason to be bullish. And stocks usually go up in November and December. People need dollars to buy US stocks. The whole world loves US stocks. The whole world is buying US stocks. So as people buy stocks, they need dollars, so they buy dollars. Price goes up. Fundamentally, also, we have had a massive sell-off on the DXY. So massive bearish legs, a lot of selling pressure. We knew the catalyst. The catalyst at that point in Q1 and let's say Q2 of 2025, it was Trump, new economic regime, new political regime, crazy tariffs, and no one really knew what was happening. So people lost confidence in the dollar. People wanted to short the dollar. The new narrative is not tariffs anymore. It is generally what the hell is the Fed doing? So people are no longer so scared of tariffs. I think we have reached sort of a bottom. We have a double bottom here. I think it's time for us to go up a bit. I think the market is let's say there's too many sellers. People have oversold the US dollar, and now it's time to rebound. Now it's time to rebound to the upside a bit. Okay. So bullish fundamentally, bullish seasonality, bullish technical analysis. Pretty much, I love the dollar right now. I think it's a good buy. That's not financial advice, but that's what I'm doing. Thank you. I have watched it and it made sense. I mostly swing trade NASDAQ and gold. Have been profitable so far. As you have already mentioned before, buying those two has a lot of better probability than selling. Absolutely. So with things like the NASDAQ, like gold, like silver, it makes much more sense to buy than to sell. Your trading edge is much better, okay? Your trading edge is much higher if you just buy and have maybe short-term trades. USDCAD, not USDCAD. And have some short-term buy setups. Looking to sell these things is pretty crazy because you have such a strong market against you. So if you're a beginner, just think about the probabilities and think about how much better your trading edge is if you just buy, okay? So if you just buy instead of selling, if you focus on buying, you will do great. Because you automatically have like a 60% chance or maybe even 65% chance that the thing will continue going up rather than reverse down. So it's a pretty good setup. Hey Meg, I've been pretty good. 2 weeks I haven't streamed on this channel, but great to see you. And if you have any questions, let me know. Housing market is an important indicator. As you remember, 2008 market crash happened due to CDOs and MBs being overbought. Yeah, so there's a great movie on that topic. It's called The Big Short. I'm gonna put it in the chat. So great movie about the 2008 financial crisis. And housing market, check out housing market in basically in Canada. And what you can do, we can do it right now. Why not? So if you go to your ChatGPT and say, give me housing prices in Canada for the last 25 years. Create a graph. Yeah. So let's see. So when I did it previously, I got just the code and I needed to input the code, Python code, into a Python, let's say, program. And then it actually did print out the numbers. So yeah, we'll wait to see what ChatGPT does. But ChatGPT is a great asset. You can really use it a lot to build a nice, strong trading edge. Joshua says, I came to preach about how ICT is good. Okay. So like an hour ago on the stream on Trader Nick, we had an argument about ICT. And I would be interested if we can make a quick poll right now with you guys watching. So if you think ICT is not a scam, type W. And if you think ICT is a scam, type L in the chat. So we'll see what people think. And then I'll tell you what I personally think. Okay. I'm looking for shorts on UJ on the 15 minute before buys setups come on higher time frames. Okay, so you're scalping UJ. Again, scalping is not for me. Scalping kind of too fast. You need to have a really good trading edge. I tend to stay away from scalping. Where I should have maybe scalped is on the taco trade on the NASDAQ. So Nick was pretty quick. Last week on Friday, he managed to buy the dip, which was a great taco trade. Basically, Trump always chickens out. Trump makes a crazy post, crazy tweet, market drops, you buy the dip. A couple of days later, Trump walks back on his word, says the complete opposite, markets go back to the initial level. So this would have been considered possibly a scalp because you needed to catch the dip in a few minutes or a few hours. So let me see. So wouldn't the dollar lose value since a further rate cut is coming? No. Now that is interesting. That's where it gets tricky. If you go to the Fed Watch tool, you have to know what is priced in. If a rate cut is already priced in the market, then there's gonna be no movement. And if you check out the Fed Watch tool, for the 29th, we're priced in for a cut. For December, we are priced in for a rate cut. So actually, there's a much higher chance that the DXY will go to the upside than to the downside, because rate cuts are mostly priced in. And I don't think they're gonna do more rate cuts than 2. I don't think they're gonna have bigger rate cuts. So there's a much higher chance that you get US data, which comes in pretty good, and then maybe they do only 1 rate cut instead of 2 rate cuts. So that's why I also think the path of least resistance is to the upside. I know it gets tricky, I know it gets complicated, but you have to know what is priced in, what is not priced in. What is currently priced in is 2 rate cuts, as I mentioned. 93.5% chance in October and so for October, 96.7% chance. For December, 93.5% chance. That's priced in. So actually, if they do only 1 rate cut instead of 2 cuts, or if you get an extremely strong NFP, so they say, the NFP is super strong, let's not do a rate cut, market will go up because that is not priced in. If you get only 1 rate cut, that is not priced in. So the markets need to readjust. Okay. Let's see. ICT is shit. I agree. The basics like daily bias and lows of the day are not bad. Guy claims he invented fair value gaps. Market gaps existed way before than that scammer. Okay. Marco, you know what happens when rate cut news hit the fan and others sell the news event. Well, yeah, basically it's all about what is priced in. Joshua says, I'm currently floating 400 pips of secure profit on gold. Current price is floating 500 pips. Well, definitely congratulations. Gold has had a massive rush to the upside. So massive explosion. I know AV, who is in my trading community, is actually in silver. And he has caught silver from, I think, all the way from here. I'm going to have to ask him if he's still in, but this is a monster trade. I think he got in right here with a pretty tight stop loss, and he's running like 10R or something crazy, 8 or 9R. So if you manage to catch gold, if you manage to catch silver, congratulations to you. I personally have been too slow, so I was looking for a pullback. I was waiting for a pullback. I was looking at the crucial levels. Unfortunately, I didn't get in. So maybe next time. Just a monster. I don't know why it's exploding up so much. It's now up 4 consecutive days or 5 consecutive days of just massive momentum. So pretty cool. What do you think about longing gold every time it retraces to a fib? Seems to work. Well, it works now. But what about in 5 months? What about in a year? What about in 2 years? You can get lucky with very simple trading strategies that only rely on, let's say, technical analysis and support and resistance levels. They work great in a specific market condition. But what will happen when you get this? What will happen when you get this? Lots of false breakouts. Or this. See? In this kind of a market, you will lose all of your profits, unfortunately. So you will lose all of your gains. That is why, and here, we're just going down, down, down. This lasted for like 4 or 5 years, this sort of a market environment, this super flat, choppy market environment. So you have to think of the future, and most of the very, very simple trading edges, very simple technical strategies, you make a lot of money in the trending market condition, and then you lose all of the profits in the range-bound condition. Let me see. So, oh my God, what is this? Let's see. I want the first one. Okay, it should load unless it froze. So let's wait. Yeah, so for ICT, if anyone is wondering, I think he's a complete scammer. As I mentioned on the previous stream, I only know of one guy that's maybe profitable. That's Jade Cap. So this guy, Jade Cap FX. See, I think he trades ICT. And he is like extremely profitable, makes a lot of money. I think he works for a real prop firm, so he gets real capital. Other than him, I don't know of anyone who has been in the game for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and that actually consistently makes money from the markets using ICT. So as I mentioned, with these very, very simple strategies, you get winning streaks, you get trending periods, you get lucky periods. And then when the market condition shifts, You basically lose all of your profits. What timeframes do you mostly trade in? How long do you keep your position open on average? I mostly look at the daily chart for this fundamental strategy. I usually keep my positions open 2 to 3 weeks. I would say that's the average. It can be 2 months. It can be 1 day if it's a loss. For example, my last trade was on GBP USD and it lost in 1 day. So it lasted for just 1 day. Do you use any technical indicators? Just the 20 EMA, but I just use it to see when the market is overextended. So it's not a key indicator, it's not a crucial indicator, and I use this high and low indicator, this one, GT, recent high, low, Bong Hyun. Okay, that's the one I use. Really simple stuff, just the highs and lows. I can do without these indicators. They just visually help me to see some levels, to see if the price is overextended. And when the price is overextended, I want to be patient. I want to look for a pullback because there's a high chance that a pullback will happen. So I don't want to buy the top. I don't want to buy the all-time highs. People are FOMO buying metals now. My sister bought 10 kilograms of silver. Okay, well, this looks like Bitcoin to me. This looks like Bitcoin in 2018 or 2021. So, and one more thing, what I noticed with Bitcoin, I've been a part of, I think, 2 or 3 bull runs by now in Bitcoin. Each time that the mainstream news picks up the story of Bitcoin, the price tanks. So the moment the mainstream media finds out about Bitcoin or gold or silver, the price tanks maybe a day later or let's say a couple of days later, or maybe 2 weeks later. Last week, I actually saw mainstream media talk about gold. So they mentioned how gold moved from 3K to 4K, and is it maybe then a time for us to have the correction? Because now everyone knows about it. Everyone has made a decision to buy or not to buy. And the buyers may be taking profits here. No one knows. In the last 5 days, we moved up, let's see, around 7%. So maybe I'm completely wrong. But yeah, I don't think that's an extremely bad decision that she bought a lot of silver. I personally wouldn't do it at these prices, but I mean, if she plans to hold silver for the next 10 to 20 years, then I think why not? You know, if she's not gonna sell it anytime soon, silver will appreciate over time, gold will appreciate over time, fiat will keep losing value, inflation will keep eating the value of fiat. So basically, to keep yourself safe, to avoid inflation, buy gold, buy silver. It'll just go up. It'll keep going up. NASDAQ, it will keep going up. Same thing. At least she's not leveraging a margin account. Exactly. So she can always sell her silver, but you cannot get back the money you lost in a margin account. So is there a strategy that works both in consolidation and trading condition? I would say the strategy that we trade, so Trader Nick, me, iWind, Chris Pulver, the approach that we trade, which is finding a trading edge, finding an inefficiency in the market, finding multiple confluences to take a trade, kind of anticipating a trend, so maybe searching for a consolidation and then waiting for a breakout. That's the approach where you can make money in both trending and consolidation market condition. Also, you have to know that every single week something is trending, okay? So there's always going to be something that will be in an uptrend. This week, it's gold and silver. Maybe next week it will be euro dollar, okay? So there's so many instruments, or maybe crypto. There's essentially so many instruments that you can trade. One of them is trending at any point in time. So yeah, but again, just using technical analysis and finding a trending instrument every single week, I don't think it would work well. I just don't. I'm not a believer in it because of my experience, because of what I've seen, because of what I've read, because of the people I've met. Sluggy says, I have added to my New Zealand dollar shorts, milking it so far. Let me see the New Zealand dollar. I think this is a pretty good trade. So I think the Sluggy actually got in somewhere here around the 20 MA on a sell setup, which is pretty nice. We have had a massive drop from that level. So that is pretty good. And you have added to your shorts. That is nice. So what I'm going to be waiting for, maybe I can try to get in. I'm going to try to get in at around the 20 MA. The target would be, I think, this support level right here. I think that's an okay target to have. That's a pretty nice target to have. So if I get in here, let's say stop above this high, aim for the bottom. Yeah, that's 3-1. That's pretty healthy. The New Zealand dollar, I think, is weak. And the US dollar looks, as I keep mentioning, looks pretty bullish. Let me also check the latest data on the New Zealand. Let's see. New Zealand. So the New Zealand dollar, the latest data was manufacturing and it came in neutral. But it's more bearish than bullish. And if you look at the long-term data for the New Zealand dollar, it doesn't look so great. So it looks pretty weak overall. Again, it's all about relative terms. How is the New Zealand dollar doing, or how is New Zealand doing relative to other big economies in the world? Compared to the US, I think they are losing to the US. Okay, in the recent numbers. So that's a great trade. Congrats on catching it, man. I would just keep milking it as you're doing. So I would just keep extracting profits. Once you catch a good trend, once you find a good instrument to trade, just keep rinsing and repeating. That's what I'm doing on USDCAD. I just want to rinse and repeat. Get in, get out, pull back, get in, get out, pull back. That's the game, or the name of the game. Do you invest in stocks? I have a friend that has grew a 40 account to 200,000 with tech stocks. So 40K, I'm assuming, which is definitely possible. In a period of, let's say, 10 years, I think that is achievable. I do invest into stocks, but not specific stocks. I just buy the S&P 500. So I use Interactive Brokers, which is a great broker, I would say. So I just buy the S&P, and I have Bitcoin, and I have Ethereum. Those are my 3 favorite long-term investments. I'm not looking to sell anytime soon, so I'm not looking to sell at all. I just want to keep holding them because I know over time, if I don't need the money, over time this will happen. Okay, and this and this. Just a massive appreciation of value will happen. And the goal is to add something every month. If I have some money to spare, why not put it into the stock market? It's the smart thing to do. If you keep it in the bank, it's just gonna lose value. What is the inflation? If you live in Canada, I'm not sure if there is any Canadians in the chat, but if you live in Canada, or not sorry Canada, but the UK. If you live in the UK, 3.8% is the yearly inflation. That means every single year your pounds are worth 3.8% less than what they were worth a year ago. Okay, that's pretty bad. You're losing 3.8% of value every single year. While here you're protected. You're protected against inflation, and you get some money on top of that. Okay. GBP Swiss is lovely swap rates. Okay. Let me see. GBP CHF. Yeah, selling GBP CHF is horrible. horrible swap rates, but buying them is pretty good. So buying UK Swiss is pretty good. Let me check on my MetaTrader, actually. Let me see on my MetaTrader. So GBP CHF, you can check your exact swaps in your MetaTrader for your broker. Swap long, so on one lot, if I buy one lot, I get 7 euros. If I sell one lot, I have to pay 17 euros every day. Holy crap. That's pretty expensive if you want to short. But buying it may be good. And you said that you're buying, right? I think you said you're buying as a hedge. So we're kind of near a bottom. If you're looking at technical analysis, you could definitely say that this is near a bottom. So you could be betting for a bit of a bounce like this, collecting positive swaps along the way. Not such a bad proposition. I want to get filled on USDCAD as well. Okay, so you're probably following a similar trade idea as me. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. As I mentioned, I may enter an initial position just to be in. I may take an initial small risk position and then get into a bigger one a bit lower. Okay, that could be in the cards. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see the price running away from me. Okay, so I don't want to see gold, silver, NASDAQ happen where I just didn't get a pullback at all and I didn't catch anything. Okay, USD-CAD, that's the analysis. He made that within 8 months. Do you think it's worth picking out some specific stocks, or like the great Warren Buffett said, just stick to an index fund? I would say if you don't love investing, if you don't love trading, if you're not going to devote a couple of hours per day for the craft, just buy an index. Because it's a competition. You have to know that the market is a competition. Trading and investing are high performance sports, basically. You're competing with the best traders and the best investors in the world. The pie of the profits is limited. For someone to win money, the other person has to lose money. You cannot print money out of thin air. Only central banks can print money. So for you to win, someone has to lose. And if you do zero work and just randomly pick out a few stocks, there's a very small chance you're going to be able to outperform the successful players, right? There's a very high chance someone will take the money away from you. But again, buying an index, holding an index, you're getting 10% per year. You're doing zero work. If you don't enjoy investing, researching, trading, researching a trading edge, don't do it. It's just so simple. And there has been, I would say, a lot of years where the S&P has outperformed an active trader, an active investor. If you do some research, 95% of hedge funds on Wall Street cannot outperform the S&P. Okay, they cannot outperform the S&P. They lose out to the S&P. They actually take so many fees, so much commission that they can't replicate these results. So yeah, just save yourself from a headache, buy the S&P. I'm doing it, right? I have a portion of my capital in the S&P because I know the power of the S&P, because this year you would be up, let's see, you would be up 12.3%. That's pretty healthy. And if you're maybe an active investor, you could have bought the dip, which is something that I did. So I managed to buy the dip, so I'm up even more this year. I'm enjoying the Trump trade. Again, this was Taco trade as well. Trump always chickens out. Don't tell anyone, but you can avoid swaps and commissions if you use a cent account. Yeah, I heard there's some ways around it. I'm not really sure. I mean, anything that seems too good to be true is usually not true. So they may screw you in a different way. They may have very high swaps or very high commissions when exiting and entering trades. I'm buying GP Swiss, risking 0.5% building positions. Okay, so you're collecting positive swaps. That's great. Pretty high swaps. USD cents account. Okay, that is pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out. But usually in life, I mean, I don't have a lot of life experience. Just from what I've read and heard, if something is too good to be true, it's probably false. So avoiding swaps using USD cent account, there must be some downside to it. Sluggy says, Marco, if you were me, would you look for NZD-CAD buys to hedge against NZD-USD shorts? NZD-CAD. Let me see. Let me see the Edge Finder. I mean, I wouldn't hedge bullish. Okay, bullish data. Technicals are kind of on a downtrend. I mean, why do you want to hedge exactly? Because if your NZD-USD sell is doing so well, aren't you eroding your profits? Aren't you, let's say, capping your upside with going long NZD-CAD? Right? I just the question is, why would you hedge? It doesn't make sense to me if you have a clear position on NZD-USD, unless you want to cover your swaps some way. But NZD-USD sell should be positive swaps, if I'm not mistaken. NZD-USD. Sell positive swaps. Okay, so you're getting positive swaps. I bought the dip on OMXS30. Gotten right at the bottom just by luck. I'm not sure what that is. OMXS30. That's the Stockholm 30 index. Okay, I've never seen this. I've never seen this one, so I don't have any comments. But congratulations if you bought the dip. It's great. Joshua says, I trade a cent account. My account is still small, so I can only use about 10 lots on it. And don't have many instruments besides Forex pairs and gold. So maybe that's the downside. You get less instruments. Yeah, that would be over trading. Thanks for the heads up. Sometimes lines get blurry. If you have a concrete reason to take a hedge, to buy NZD-CAD, to protect yourself against NZD-USD shorts, then great. But if you just want to do it to be in more trades, if you don't have a concrete reason to be in, I would say stay out. Your NZD-USD position looks good. I like the fundamentals behind it. I think it's going to continue. And I had a similar experience this week. So I wanted to buy USD JPY. So I wanted to buy this thing. And I already have had a buy limit set at the swing high. Didn't get tagged in yet, but then I reevaluated the position. I looked at, well, what's my confluence for selling the yen? And I said to myself, well, I'm kind of not sure. I'm not really certain if I should sell the yen. It's a bit blurry. So I removed the order. So yeah, sometimes we try to put on trades where there's not a huge trading edge present. So we have to catch ourselves. We have to think about what we're doing. And then we can get back on the right track. Hans says, or is it Haynes? I'm from Sweden, so I know some of the Swedish stocks. Still, it usually does the same as US markets, as we are heavily US related. Well, that's great. Then maybe you can buy yourself or get yourself an extra trading edge because you're familiar with your markets at home. S30. So you basically did the Trump trade, the taco trade. If I'm not mistaken, you bought the dip. Or was there a dip here? I'm guessing this was the dip that you bought. Is there a different ticker? Not really. So yeah, pretty nice. If you managed to catch the dip. Looks like the Trump trade wasn't really present on this index, while on the NASDAQ it was pretty visible. This was the sell-off. Edge Finder looks bullish NZD-CAD and sort of hedging, but at skip. Yeah, it does give you a bullish reading in the top setups. So NZD-CAD is bullish, which is good. That's a good confluence. So maybe your reason to take NZD-CAD is the Edge Finder, which is then okay. That's completely fine. Let me see the seasonality. Let's see. NZD-CAD. It's bullish. Okay. Pretty bullish actually. So yeah, looks like risk on into the year's end is good. This could be an extra confluence as well. The seasonality is pretty strong on NZD-CAD. That's enough to take a trade, I would say. For me personally, not, but maybe for someone else, that's already 2 reasons to buy. I bought the dip in April. We had a taco trade because it happened off hours. Okay, it happened off hours. Nice. Awesome. Joshua says, I was actually shorting UJ, but after hearing your analysis, I closed it in drawdown to cut my loss, and right now I would have been in profit. I'm still new to swing trading. Well, look, you need to stick to your plan. So if you have developed your plan, your trading edge, tested it in backtesting, tested it in live markets, then you should stick to the plan. You should stick to your trading edge. And if I say a different thing, if I say I'm buying UJ and then you close your sell position, that doesn't really make, let's say that's not really good for letting your edge play out. So if your analysis is solid, if you have a solid trading edge, you need to let it play out. Whatever I say, whatever Nick says, whatever Chris Pulver says, you need to stick to your own analysis and your own opinion on the markets. That's my best advice I would give you. Just stick to your own analysis, let your trades play out, don't close them prematurely, and you will find success. So we had no taco trade. Okay, so now I'm a bit confused. Got a lucky entry on the NASDAQ. You saw Marco buy order yet to fill on SPX. Yeah, I think you did manage to catch the dip, which is awesome. I was pretty slow on that one. So on Friday, I had a business lunch. And after that, I was not in the charts. I was at home, but I was doing, I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was pretty tired from the lunch. So I didn't even see this until it was kind of too late. If I saw this, maybe I would have bought the dip. Again, Nick was pretty quick to react on this one, and he did manage to get in somewhere here, I believe, with a stop loss right below that. He almost got taken out, but in the end he did survive. So he's still in, and he's actually running some profit right now. Yes, that was a rookie mistake. I don't yet have a proper swing edge. Are you in the A1 Discord? So if you can just put down, are you in the A1 Discord? And then I can try to give you maybe some advice. Bitcoin is something I wanted to talk about as well. So Bitcoin looks pretty interesting, or did look pretty interesting. Possible taco trade, possibly buying the dip on Bitcoin on this candle would have been probably a loss, but still a solid trade idea. I think Nick had an attempt to buy the dip here. Okay, so Nick had an attempt. Maybe he's still in, I'm not sure. I was looking for buy setups before the massive sell-off. I was looking for buy setups here at this resistance level. Fortunately, I didn't get in. So I was looking for a bigger breakout. I was looking for a bigger break and retest. Yeah, fortunately, it didn't happen. So instead, we just kind of went lower. This doesn't look so great. There's now quite a lot of momentum, sell-off momentum, selling pressure inside of here. Overall, looks super flat. I'm not the one to be shorting Bitcoin. Definitely, I don't want to short Bitcoin because you have a much stronger trading edge if you just buy Bitcoins. Okay. But this is now a key level. So this is now a key level of support. Resistance. Sorry about that. Yeah, resistance, support. Looks like we're breaking support. Doesn't look healthy. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It doesn't look healthy. I had an expectation of a Trump trade. I had an expectation that the price will just go back to the initial level before the Trump craziness. Ethereum is kind of flat. So Ethereum is kind of flat. It doesn't have a massive reaction as Bitcoin. So it's not as bearish as Bitcoin right now, in my opinion. But still, Ethereum highly connected to Bitcoin. And I just want to mention this. I want to mention, if you guys want to join free Discord for Zentum Trading, which is a trading community that Griff and I have made, you can join for free by clicking here and just filling this out, join the Discord. So it's absolutely free. You get my daily forecasts, you get a monthly newsletter, and you get interaction with traders. So if you want to join, link is in the description of the live stream. And you can also become a paid member if you choose to get access to all of the trading videos, step-by-step learning plan, trading floor, weekly calls, weekly trade recaps. That is all for paid members. So yeah, take a look, join for free, see if you like it. Okay, I didn't use Discord. Okay, so you're not in the A1 Discord. Well, I would suggest, if you are new to swing trading and you want to learn more about it, watch some of the stuff from Trader Nick, watch some of his videos, and watch some of the stuff from me on my YouTube channel. After that, I would suggest joining a paid service, okay? Again, Zentum Trading, check it out if you want. That's Griff and me. Or A1 Trading, that is from Trader Nick, where I am also in. So I work for Nick as a freelancer, and I post trade signals, trade ideas, fundamental analysis, economic breakdowns, general interaction with traders. So you can catch me in both communities. Both communities will teach you basically everything you need to know to become a successful swing trader and actually build a proper trading edge. Sluggy says, yes, Nick is still in on his BTC longs. Okay, cool. So he's still in. It's not looking the best right now. Yeah, big red candle on the daily. Big selling pressure, big selling momentum. So we will see what will happen. Hans says, how long have you been trading? I've been learning to trade like seriously from 2021. So yeah, kind of January 2021 is where I seriously started to dedicate my time to trading. Before that, I was just screwing around. And I've been heavily learning fundamentals in, I would say, 2025. So kind of beginning late 24, beginning of 2025, I started to heavily go into fundamentals and building like a fundamental trading edge. Also, we have a great community on Discord. Serious traders, really experienced guys. Yeah, so that's basically A1 Trading. You can use even my discount code if you want to join. So my discount code is MARKO. That's the discount code. And the name is A1 Trading. Just go to their website, check out the Discord. You can join. We're approaching the end of the stream. If you guys have any last minute questions, last minute chart requests, put them in the chat. I have pretty much gone through my whole watch list. Let me see if there's anything interesting that I haven't covered. Let's see, the DAX is just super flat, doing nothing. The VIX is going up a bit, interesting. US oil is dropping lower. DXY, I'm bullish on. JXY, I'm kind of bearish on the yen if I'm being honest. TLT 10-year yield is going down. Okay. The US government wants to see a lower lower 10-year yield. So this is something that the US government heavily looks at. I have a question. Can risk to reward plus technicals be your edge? I would say it's not enough. And that just comes from my experience. I've been around many traders. I did an internship at a real prop firm, Positive Equity. I saw what they were doing. I saw how they were trading. I talked to them about technical analysis. Every one of them laughed. So they are using technical analysis, but it's not the main thing why they enter trades. Again, you have to think about it. Trading is a competition, high-end competition. There are professionals in this game. It's a zero-sum game. It's even negative sum because you have commissions and fees. So the pie of profits is limited. If you are the smartest, most successful trader, you get most of the profits. If you do zero concrete work, you just place trend lines like this, and you say that is my trading edge. Well, everyone can do that. And it's not a competitive trading edge, right? How are you going to beat your competition with trend lines? Unfortunately, on the long sample size, it's not going to work. At least that is what my experience has taught me. Why are technicals so popular, you may ask? That may be your next question. They're so popular because they're so easy. They're so easy, so simple to learn, so simple to teach. And fake online gurus love technical analysis because it's so easy. And then when it doesn't work for you, they just say, you have a problem with your psychology. Your psychology is not in check. You cannot control your losses. That's your problem. But actually, your problem is you don't have a real trading edge. You're not competitive in the most competitive game in the world, which is financial markets. Can you do analysis of oil? So, not really. We can quickly glance on top setups. Check out US oil. I really don't have much of an opinion on US oil. Neutral bias. Technicals are bearish. At least it's going down, so our gas is cheaper. Other than that, I don't have much to tell you. I just think oil is very much impacted by geopolitics and very tough to predict. Very tough to build a good, solid trading edge that won't get erased by Israel and Iran, by US and Russia, by COVID, by I don't know what. So, okay, not COVID, but something that happens more regularly. Very, very much impacted by geopolitics. The fundamental play would be if world economies are doing well, oil goes up. If world economies are slowing down and struggling, oil goes down. So we can look at the global economic surprise score. It's kind of negative, which could be the case to sell oil. Okay. Building that track record, Marco. I'm up 4% on that 50K. Awesome. Congratulations. That's amazing. Just keep at it. Keep executing your edge. Gold up 2% today so far. Another day, another FOMO for me. Okay, well, I'm feeling the same thing. Everyone is feeling the same thing. Most of us are not in. Okay, most of us didn't catch the move. The thing that distinguishes professionals from losing traders is we're not hunting the price. If you talk to Nick, if you talk to Chris, if you talk to James, they're all going to tell you the same thing. I'm not looking to buy right now. I'm looking for pullbacks. Only suckers are getting in here. Okay? Dumb money is buying right now because it's so explosive, because it's so parabolic. Once the pullback happens, we may go up like this and then pullback erases all of the gains. So yeah, it may seem attractive to buy, but if you ask any professional trader, they're going to tell you don't hunt the price. Technicals for entries alone. Yeah, technicals are great for entries. If you need to structure your entry, stop loss, take profit, technical analysis is great. Have a good day, Marco. I had a great time watching your stream. Thank you very much for the feedback. Have a great rest of the week. and hopefully I will see you on the next stream. If you guys are wondering, I'm streaming pretty much every Thursday. Okay, every Thursday I'm streaming on this channel around 4 p.m. So around 4 p.m. If you want to get updates, follow me on my Instagram, which is at Marcos Trading Journey. So I post all of the updates when I'm streaming or not streaming on my Instagram. How can we work on our fundamentals? Best thing to do is to get some education. First, for free, you can watch some videos from me or from Trader Nick. As I mentioned, search up Trader Nick, my trading strategy on YouTube. He does a great breakdown of fundamentals. Consider joining Zentum Trading, which is my trading community, and Griff's, or consider joining A1 Trading from Trader Nick. I commented suckers are buying gold and losers are selling gold. Yeah, that's definitely the case. So every professional trader that you ask, are you buying gold right now, is going to tell you, no. Are you crazy? Of course, I'm not buying it at these levels. Catch you later. Thank you, Sluggy, very much for joining. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. I love the interaction. I love answering your questions. If you want, come back next week on Thursday. I will probably be live streaming. Have a great weekend, and let's try to catch some cat shorts. Okay? Let's try to catch some cat shorts. Thank you. See you. Goodbye.